It is a pleasure having you join us. This is the New Times News Weekly Review, where we take a look at the stories that trended most in the course of the week. I am Lavi Mutanganchu. Rwanda and the rest of the world on Wednesday commemorated the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi that claimed over 1 million people in 100 days. While officially kicking off the National Commemoration Week, President Paul Kagame said that lies and falsehoods about Rwanda, motivated by petty resentments, do not define the country and will not determine the country's fate. He also commended Rwandans for remaining dedicated to the task of unity and reconciliation, as well as friends of the country, some who have stood with the country over the years. In other news, President Paul Kagame this week received the report on France's role in the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The Duclert Commission's report, among others, concludes that France bears heavy and overwhelming responsibilities over the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, but makes no mention of any evidence of French complicity. Rwanda welcomed the report and reaffirmed that an investigative report commissioned by the government of Rwanda in 2017 will be released in coming weeks, the conclusions of which will enrich those of the Duclert Commission. Now, in other news that trended in the course of the week, Gacaca archives were proposed for UNESCO's heritage list. After the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, Rwanda initiated the Gacaca courts to handle genocide crimes. The justice system officially closed in 2012 after trying more than 1.9 million genocide crimes in 10 years.
They said many are called, a few were chosen, but I wish some wasn't chosen.
Thanks for joining us again. This is the second segment of our news review, where we discuss about that one particular topic with the help of an interviewee who might be one of us, a colleague here, or even someone from outside. Today, we'll be discussing about the role of youth in preventing and fighting genocide ideology and genocide denial. Joining me today is Nasiru Shema. He's the Executive Director of Peace and Love Proclaimers, also known as PLP, and he will be helping us to understand what youth are doing to prevent genocide ideology and denial. Thanks for joining us today, Nasiru.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and a privilege.
Yes, Shema, maybe the first question that one can ask, what is PLP in full as an organization? What do you guys do?
PLP stands for Peace and Love Proclaimers. We are a youth-led organization with the mission to establish positive change globally through unity, peace and development. And throughout the years, we've organized and initiated grassroots initiative with the aim to empower young people to take responsibility in fighting genocide ideology, to take a stand in unity and reconciliation.
Now, thank you very much, Shema. As highlighted a while ago, we're going to discuss about the role of youth in fighting or preventing or fighting genocide ideology and denial. You've talked about the different initiatives that you have as PLP, but how do these initiatives tackle the apparent genocide denial and ideology, especially in youth?
Divisions were brought by colonials and missionaries in Rwanda. They converted what was social classes into ethnicity, and they introduced them into identity cards, and that made it gain roots in Rwanda, and it unfortunately it led to the 1994 genocide against Tutsi. After a joint look at the issues that are detrimental to the Rwandan society, such as genocide ideology and genocide denial, discriminations and divisions, we have initiated different conversation, different initiatives to tackle these kind of issues. The famous one would be Walk to Remember, and the basic education that we are trying to portray in Walk to Remember is that when you walk, you have a destination and a source. So you have where you are coming from and where you want to go, and we have a past. We have where we come from as Rwanda, but we also have where we want to go. So the message that we are giving to young people is that we have a past. However cruel it is our past.
Yes, that's those are very good initiatives, but what one would ask, it's good, you're putting in everything you can, you're teaching them, you're bringing new initiatives, but concerning the people, the youth you're teaching, what is their feedback? Are they getting it, or they are still saying that fighting genocide ideology, fighting genocide denial is for the elderly people? What is the feedback from the people you always teach?
So in our initiatives that we organize, and a couple of conversations that we organize, we use participatory methodology, and this has been really working for us because if you engage with someone and they also engage with you, they participate in those conversations, they participate in those initiatives, they feel like they're also having their voice held in one way or the other, and it has been really working for us. But also they also demand that the institution that are really in charge of these conversations and these in certain topics, they also make an effort of trying to initiate things that are closely relatable to young people.
Before we wind up, one would ask, what is the remaining gap, or what more do you think needs to be done to see more youth engaged in the fight against genocide ideology and genocide denial, and also find this apparent genocide denial and the ideology in youth being erased or eradicated?
So you see, priority is on the root of things, the leaf of symptoms, and people are trying to deal with problems at a symptomatic level, and I think and believe that we need to deal with problems at root level for us to be able to eradicate genocide ideology. We need to go at the root causes of it. We need to educate young people to understand the genocide against Tutsi, so that they do not fall in the trap of genocide ideology and genocide denial. They need to learn from the mistakes of the elders and try and bridge that and make something out of it, learn from it, because they say failures are only failures when we don't learn from them, because when we learn from them, they become lessons. So young people need to learn from the mistakes of the elders and make their own story, not just carry the heavy story of their parents. They also need to educate themselves, so that when someone spread lies, genocide denial, they would really understand that they are lying and be able to correct them. So to the young people that are following, I want them to listen to this. I want them to be able to create a purposeful, meaningful life for themselves and use that to create an impact in the lives of others.
Thank you very much, Shema, for such insightful inputs. And because of time, we won't be able to proceed further, but we do thank you for your time, and we hope that even next time when we call you, you'll be around. We also thank you for watching this week's New Times News Weekly Review. That's it for today. And we just want to remind you that we are still in 100 days of commemorating the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Let's remember, unite, and renew. That's it for today. I am Lavi Mutanga Churo. See you next week.